to order, you please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item is approval of the agenda. I have one addition under number 1, correspondence. Add an item C, which is the public officials workshop. That's all I have. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add or alter on the agenda?
There's no other additions. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the one addition.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the agenda as amended. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries. What? What? Did I mess up?
Nothing.
No. The next item is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of November 4th.
Make a motion that the minutes be approved as presented.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported to approve the minutes as presented for the regular meeting of November 4th. Any discussion?
In the first item on A, I wasn't in there, so I abstained, but it was the general consensus of the board to wait until November to further discuss the matter.
What matters?
Oh, it said
It's
November.
A, yeah, I
December.
think it's just
It's just a little.
Should be
it's-
December.
Should be December.
no problem.
Correct.
Understood what she meant.
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Correct.
Well, it says,
Yeah.
That sentence should
oh,
be stricken.
yeah, the sentence before said December. but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strike it.
And Hayes just kind of made that.
I think what she
adjustment.
meant to say there was a consensus at the
November
November
meeting.
board meeting,
Gotcha.
and we can fix that.
Okay, so does your motion include changing that as corrected?
If need be, it's corrected.
Support?
Yes.
Okay, moved and support to approve the minutes as corrected for the November 4th meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the financial report.
We began the month with $89,556.99. We took in receipts of $71,136.07. And we made disbursements in the amount of $44,549.15, leaving us with a balance in the general fund of $116,143.91.
Make a motion to approve the financial report as submitted.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the financial report as submitted. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Item number 1, correspondence. A, you have in your packet a copy of an invitation to the Richmond Chamber of Commerce Christmas celebration on December 13th. So, do what you will. Any comments or discussion on that? Moving on. Item B, the 2014-16 planned road project. There was a type of workshop given and Pat Algreen attended, and she got us this information, and she can fill us in.
Okay, I attended, it was the meeting of MDOT and all their people, which was all men. There was me and another lady. And St. Clair County, Kirk was there, an assistant of his. And they asked me what our plans were, and I told them that we had passed a millage to help get things done. And as you can see, our things are on the list for 2014. Where is that? Okay. I have Palms Road, Lindsay to Marine City Highway, which, and also Heston Road, the culvert that we're going to be, that's the bridge, right? The
Yep,
bridge.
the bridge by Spring.
Bridge by Springborn. they discussed that. They also discussed the other things going in St. Clair Highway, in St. Clair County. Palms to Nook Road will be started after school is out, and it will be done on weekends and nights to keep down on the traffic control. Same with over the Black River Road, the bridge painting. It will be done in July sometime. And these other bridgements will be done in a couple years. One gentleman was there and he was working on our welcome center up in Port Huron at I-96 and 94, and he said it is coming along. Still a lot of work to do up there, but they're getting as much as they can get done. I was a little disappointed. St. Clair didn't really know what they wanted, so they didn't, other than this handout, that's all they brought. And MDOT had like everybody from all of his different departments there, so we would have known more and we could have picked their minds a little more, but I plan on attending if they have another one. They used to have them monthly, but I think they're gonna have them quarterly. And I will attend them again.
That sounds like a good report.
Thank you.
The Heston Road bridge replacement, when is the time frame? Did they expect in the spring they're gonna?
They're hoping sometime in the spring to start.
Okay.
They're not real sure. We do have a new man on the job now. We have Duke Dunn. And I heard a lot of good things about him, as he's been a supervisor before in construction and stuff, and that he should be able to run our roads pretty good. Everybody was in the same consensus, you know, they were glad to hear that he got the job. And we have met Duke. I haven't personally had one-on-one on him, but I hear good things about him.
And then in 15, we get that other bridge
Yeah.
on Heston, that should
Yeah.
take care of our bridge issues.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
county line to Palms, shoulder reconstruction for 2016. They weren't sure what was going to happen yet. You know, it depends on how much money they can get. You know, federally and county money.
Hey, question, on the culvert they placed here on Lindsay Road, has that black spray coating on the outside, do you know?
It's plastic.
Okay. It's a galvanized culvert, but with that plastic coating. Because that came up, someone was asking about the
Yeah.
other day.
Years ago, they used to put tar on them, now they put plastic.
Okay, yeah, unless if we have, I know we have some other smaller spans, but.
Well, we have culverts that are always, they're never gonna end, and they don't make them as good as they did years ago, so they're not gonna last as long.
Yeah, that's true.
The ones right down the road here, where the blacktop starts,
Yeah,
that one's got a bunch of holes that they were filling them all summer.
okay.
But we can't apply for matching money again for 2 years,
Right.
so I'm hoping they'll last that long.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to item C, Public Officials Workshop. In your packet is notice of a workshop. They're held on 3 different dates. And it's basically from Homeland Security and Emergency Management related items. So, if anyone's interested,
I think I may like to do the January 16th from 6:30 to 8:30. Does anyone want to go with me?
I'm interested, I'm not sure what the day's gonna be.
Okay.
well, you can always cancel, but you only have another 3 days to RSVP, so.
He might,
So you guys just wanna call on your own then, or what?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely go on the 16th.
So you're gonna call in, Joe?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, any questions on that? Moving on. Item number 2, old business, the Richmond Aud. It was discussed in the minutes a little bit. That was on the agenda last month, but the full board wasn't here. So we kind of decided to wait till this month. Hopefully everyone will be able to attend. The Aud is requesting funds from us. And I don't know if you brought your packets from last month in regards to what they're asking. Plus, we have a record, if you can figure it out on here, of what we've given in the last 3 years. So we can open it to discussion, or you can do what you want. I guess I'll put in a couple cents worth. We haven't put any money in our park and recs in the last 3 years. The millage is only good for 2 more years.
Right.
And I don't want to leave them out in the cold, but the time, if the millage doesn't get renewed, you know, it's gonna go downhill in our participation. Personally, I would be in favor of, this year we anticipate an income of $18,000. I was fully supported half of that, $9,000 for this year. That's just my own opinion. If you have a better opinion, we'd love to hear.
Another Parks and Rec, I take it they'll probably try to go for a renewal this more.
Trying and getting are always the same though.
Right, I understand.
I would go along with that if anybody would meet our, at least, if they can't do 9, do 5,000. You know, these other townships just sit back and they've got money too.
Yeah, and I am going to them.
You
With
know,
the new election.
if we give
always-
5,000 or, you know, I don't know if we're gonna give 5 or 9, but then they should meet at least what we give. And I guess I'm challenging you to do that.
Yeah.
This isn't just for Casco's kids, it's for all the kids in this whole area. Doesn't really matter where they live, they all use it.
I don't have my packet from last month. Who, of the communities, of I guess the 5 communities right in the area, who's been the most generous?
Oh, yeah.
Lennox. Oh, you by far.
Yeah.
Of you guys, of everybody? Yeah, you guys by far.
Okay.
And then next would be Lennox Township.
Okay.
And we are going back to Columbus Township. And, you know, and,
Tifa donated a lot, but theirs was in the infrastructure, right? The buildings.
right, and they still support us with additional things. So like they kind of handle kind of our maintenance type stuff that we can't, you know, like the big things. You guys essentially help with the utilities so that I don't have to fundraise for the utilities. So that's like the 20,000, and then I fundraise about another 70 to 100,000. You know, that we fundraise and we work, get grants, and you know, I mean, we.
But
see,
if
so.
each one of the townships gave you $5,000 each, you would easily reach the 20,000, which would help on your utilities, right?
Right. Well, we kind of
But
are
you
hoping.
wanted 20,000 from each.
Well, because our budget is 100,000 minimum, and that's just because we can't really work with volunteers when you're working with that many kids, because you have to have, you know,
Some consistency.
consistency, people who know what's going on. So, but that being said, with utilities paid, then I just do more myself. So,
Which isn't right.
right, but that's because that it's, you know, was the mission that I started to get this. And so, like, kind of like I said last time, every time there's an election, attitudes change. And I do believe that we live in a fairly negative community, that we had to prove ourselves. And, you know, there were a lot of perceptions that we were trying to take money and put it in our pocket and do this and that. I'm trying to get away from the constant grant writing, and that's why the 20,000, and asking the other townships to give 20,000. We are going to be asking for a lot more from Lennox Township, so that we can have that budget without, you know, and more consistency.
But
We kind of talked about, I kind of mentioned about even doing like a board setup of the different town, you know, different township representative, but then it gets political, and
the whole point is to keep this very accessible, very,
Right.
you know, and one thing that I wanted to kind of clarify was, you know, I talk a lot about kids coming from all over. And that's meant to, not that, oh, you're giving money for all these other people. It's that it's very easy with programs like this, and I see it all the time, and it drives me bananas, where essentially you are giving money for the same 20 kids who show up every single week. And so the point with this is that there's always different kids coming in. There's always, you know, it's very healthy in a way that kids can come, they can leave, they can come, they do one thing, they don't, you know. And so the Casco kids really benefit from having kids from other areas come in where they click. You know, we have one girl from Casco, they had just moved here. And the odd was the first thing they did, and you know, they go to East China schools, and so their mom drives them out, and she said, you know, what a blessing, because then they started out with some friends, they came and did some summer stuff, they went back to school, you know. So that's the only point, is that with saying that the other, you know, kids come from other communities and stuff like that, it's just to keep it healthy and that it's not the same.
So how much Columbus Township hasn't contributed at all?
No.
Okay. But, and they're more or less in the same, but population-wise, they're about the same as Casco.
Right.
Right. And they need to. Pat is completely against. Pat has her own agenda, and I'll say it. So, you know, we're hoping that with the political change, with, you know, every time that there's new board members, that we can open up that discussion, especially because of the millage, because, you know, that's what the residents, you know, that's what we did it for, was to have not just passive recreation, but also active recreation. That's why we vote yes. And so to keep that money and keep it from the community, I think is a shame, because that's why, you know, and, you know, one of the programs that we are going to be working on too is, or that we have been working on, but hopefully will happen this year, is a pay-to-play program. So we're trying to do that through, well, we already did it, but we're doing it through community development block grant funds. So kids can, you know, so let's say you have a kid who wants to play high school basketball, well, now it's $150 to pay to play. So that student would come to the odd, they would do X amount of volunteer hours. So let's say they would go over to Medi Lodge and, you know, set up all the Christmas decorations or something. So they would work maybe 2 Saturdays, maybe 10 hours, and they would earn the money that we would then send to their high school for their pay to play. So any kind of recreation, Little League, all of these, you know, dance, if a kid wants to do dance, they would be able, you know, to come work off, you know, a certain amount of their fee for recreation. Because that's the stuff that keeps kids moving. And because we live in rural communities, we just don't have, you know, the big recreation departments where people can go and kind of get that stuff.
Now,
So
and there's kids from Columbus Township who go into the program.
absolutely.
And like Bill said, we only have the millage for 2 more years. What are you gonna do if it doesn't go through?
Oh, we just work harder. We just, you know, it's a portion of our overall budget. It isn't
The whole
the
thing?
whole. You're not. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's $100,000 budget, and more. Sometimes, you know, it can exceed, and that's, you know, can we do more? Yeah, we can do more. The more funding we had, the more programs we can do. So we'll be fine. You know, it just means more fundraising, more work, more, you know, things to do. So that's why, with your support, it allows me to kind of spend my time working on the township, you know, trying to build those relationships. And it's, well, you guys know, when you meet once a month, it's hard to you know, to do that, and it's hard to change attitudes. But I think we have. I think we absolutely have. I think the Odd has a great track record and a great name in the community to know it's a safe place for kids. It's a place that does all the different kinds of things for kids, and that's unique, and because of you guys. And like I said, even if you decided not to give anything, you've done this, you've started this, you right there with me.
Your start.
Exactly. And, you know, we will just keep plugging along because we know the need is there.
So, does anybody want to make a motion? I'll make a motion that we give them $5,000.
I'm inclined toward 9.
You're enclosed, you're 9?
I like a more even 10.
I was thinking about that, but we already have one
So
on
we're gonna
record
go
for
with
9, that's 2 of us. so-
5.
but,
Wait a minute.
Patty made the motion for 5. Now we have to ask for a second or discussion, right? You made the motion for 5.
Right.
Is that a motion or just a
Yeah,
suggestion?
I was
She
making
made
the
to
motion.
give 5,000,
So I'll withdraw mine.
okay? All right.
All right, we have a 9, and we have a 10 now.
We were just discussing, that wasn't a
Yeah.
motion.
Right, now.
I'll move that we do 10, that we offer the odd 10, and
I like 9 better.
you like 9 better?
Now,
Then
we
I'll
don't
withdraw
need
my
to make
motion.
motions.
Well,
Do it 95.
I'm not, I know we have a
95.
vote, you and I would do
I
9,
understand.
so
Well,
that's 2 votes, and,
And I know it's only 1,000, but since we make absolutely nothing on our interest,
mhm.
and our revenue's only gonna be 18 this year, I'd be much more inclined to go to half.
But
You
the
know,
one,
it's 50% of our revenue.
but the one thing I'll have to say about St. Clair County Park and Recreation Millage, they've been doing a very good job of using the people's monies to build a very good, nice network of parks
Oh,
in the
wonderful,
county.
yeah, really.
And I think we're
It's
getting another
marvelous.
rail to trail sort of thing,
Yeah.
either that or, I don't know why they're ripping up those tracks
They're,
right on Main Street in Richmond.
Trail
but-
towns is the
Yeah.
new thing.
So, I mean, I feel good in thinking if a millage to get renewed because the people of the county see the evidence of this beautiful park system going up. I think it's probably one of the nicest things going on in the county. I mean, I'll say it better than some sort of convention center they're thinking of.
Well, the county's gonna be coming fairly soon with a project for the rails and trails involving us.
You're gonna want
So,
County line.
yeah,
Okay.
they wanna at least get it work done and planned, because I don't think it's gonna happen until they get a crossover on the freeway. It costs too much.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's big.
But they want it planned, so MDOT may do it someday when they redo the freeway again. And I don't know, maybe something else will come up that, you know,
Do
we
you
wanna spend some money.
anticipate, since we may have to use Park and Rec's millage on this to maintain it, or to get?
On
some
what?
Rails to trails.
The last time I met, they anticipated it would cost Lennox and Casco each $500,000 for that project.
The board acted on that already. When
No,
Karen
this was after,
when Karen
it never came to a vote, they're just throwing numbers
Yeah.
on that. But, you know, needless to say, we have parkland too, but we're not developing it. We don't have the resources to maintain it, or the police presence to monitor it.
Right.
So it doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. If you can come up with a better idea for the present, which I have not been able to do, I would love to hear it, you know. But so far, we haven't come up with really a viable option that the residents could use without either having a police presence or, you know, high maintenance or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, because we haven't put any money in it in the last 3 years, this is the 4th year, and we only have 2 years guaranteed millage, that's why I went to the 50%. I thought that was a reasonable step to take. Now, if interest rates go back up, they will someday, I don't know if we'll be around to see it, but, you know, when we were getting 7 or 8%, you know, we could've got more than 20,000 off the interest, but that's not the case right now.
Okay, I withdrew my motion for 10, I'm gonna resubmit a motion for 9, and hopefully we'll get a consensus on that.
I'll support it.
I mean, the odd is bringing in $100,000 plus for the kids in this community, in these communities.
But,
And I
you know,
think it's a worthwhile endeavor.
And it's just, so your motion is to purchase services for the residents of Casco Township from the Richmond Aud
Thank
in the
you.
amount of $9,000. It's not matching, it's just gonna give it to you, so hopefully you'll match it, but no strings attached. That was your motion, correct, Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill.
Any discussion on the motion?
Township.
What was that?
I'm
She's
trying to
just,
get his
He's
motion.
trying to
Your
write the
motion that
motion.
Bill dictated. Purchase services for the residents of Casco Township.
From,
In the amount
From
of
the
$9,000.
Richmond office.
All right.
in the amount of $9,000.
If I can just mention, because I was recreation director and on the recreation board back when we started the Macomb Orchard Trail, when residents would come out and spit at Macomb County recreation director, and I mean, it was like fury.
They would
And-
spit at him?
Spit at him. I mean, it was the anger, the hostility you can't even imagine when they trying to get that trail through 11 years ago. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's okay if I talk. Okay, she told me to shh.
Comments
But,
from the audience?
and so they did talk those $500,000 costs back then too, but they kind of did that and then it went through DNR grants and
Right.
it ended up, you know, not. So I just
Well-
wanted
Then they threw the horses off,
Wow.
Right.
after the horse folks advocated for the
Well,
trail.
there are a lot
Right.
of grants, but they're,
Yeah.
in one form or another, they're matching grants, so they want you to ante up part of it anyway.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, there were communities that just refused, they refused even to have the trail go through there, and so it definitely, the state definitely wants those things to go through. and
There was a
support it,
big
so.
fight in Cottonville when they were trying to put the trail through there.
Yeah, people, it definitely was, it was an amazing experience to see, you know, people do that, but I think everybody agrees it's a fantastic thing if you haven't been on the trail. So thank you, I appreciate that, that's fabulous, I appreciate your support.
We haven't voted
We
yet.
didn't vote yet.
Oh, you haven't voted,
I'm very
sorry.
excited. Okay, moved and supported. Is there any other debate? We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, nay. Dan,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, moving on. Number 3, new business, item A. Resolution 2013-15, rezoning of a parcel of property. Gave you quite a bit of information with it. The owner, Mr. Yatuma, stopped in today, asked me if he thought it was necessary to come tonight because his son had a big soccer thing someplace, and I said, no, I didn't think so, it was self-explanatory. So, he's not here. See you later.
Bye.
So, if so inclined, we would need a motion to approve resolution 2013-15.
I make a motion to approve, to adopt resolution 2013-15.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported to adopt resolution 2013-15. This is at the corner of 26 and Palms Road, Country Crossing gas station that's been there about 50, 60 years. It's never formally been zoned for commercial use, even though our master plan indicates that. So the owner wanted it rezoned, so it would match the use that's currently in place.
Yeah, he would like to eventually improve the property, even,
Expand.
yeah, expand, and provide an access to his business off Palms Road. to
Which
make
they
it-
used to have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
did.
closed the drive.
Yeah, too
Yeah.
close.
But now, yeah, so he has, you know, he asked for this rezoning to anticipation of the improvements on his property and make a good business even better. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, moved and supported to adopt resolution 2013-15. Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Okay. On rezoning?
Yes, because it's a resolution,
Motion,
takes a
right.
roll call vote.
Right. Hang on. Let's make room for 3A. Okay. 3A. Dan,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Pat, yes, Bill,
Aye,
and Colleen.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, moving on, item B. It's the long-awaited Richmond Fire contract approval. It's a never-ending story, but it still hasn't been approved by the city. But they wanted all the townships to approve theirs, but we can approve our part of it, and I'm sure that it's gonna go through. The opening page on your packet is the letter of understanding, and that involves the first responder thing that ended in April. So at the end of the year, when they calculate the medical runs, they will deduct those from the formula, and we will pay them $52 each for those. But then the rest will go into the formula. The formula is in here, the total amount for this year, so right the right page. It is, I know it's 43,000 and something. 43,612.53 for our contract for this year. The contract will end in 2015 on June the 30th. And I guess that's about all the information I have. If you have any questions, glad to hear
June
them.
13th, June
June 30th, what did I say?
2014 or 15?
50. Now you're gonna make you look at the contract, aren't you? But it is 15.
Just raise that down.
Yeah, number 4 on the last page of the contract. Contract to be enforced in effect for a term of 3 years, beginning July 1, 2012, and ending June 30th, 2015. So. If someone is so inclined to make a motion, please include in your motion, you're also approving the letter of understanding. So it's a reference.
Okay, and make a motion to approve our contract, also the letter of understanding.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the fire contract with the city of Richmond, including the letter of understanding for medical runs. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, since it's $43,000, I guess we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes, Joe,
Yes.
and Dave.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, meeting dates for 2014. In your packet, I was so bold as to have Brenda pull out the dates for 2014, the second Tuesday. And I explained in the update why I thought it was a better way to go, because every even numbered years, you have 2 elections on the first Tuesday. If there's a special election, even though the one in February is the 4th Tuesday, they usually fall on the first Tuesday also.
What's the one in February, what's special?
RISA,
Yeah,
Teresa vote.
it's the 25th of February.
right.
Okay,
So,
You wanna work that election?
what's that?
You wanna work that election?
I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
so anyway, since that happens, and if you don't set the dates ahead of time, now you gotta publish them in the paper.
Right.
And even if you do set them ahead of time, now you're gonna go to the Monday, people are used to coming on Tuesday.
Yeah, all of these people are used to.
Well, well, Mondays are not a great day for
Well,
me.
both of them, it'd be hard to get a hold of these two.
Is this,
Leave your numbers
Is
at the
this
door
gonna,
so we can get you.
this won't affect anything with like our board relation with the planning commission, the applicants or anything like that?
No, because their timelines
No.
aren't geared from us.
Yeah.
They're geared, when there is one, it's a publication timeline.
Okay, right.
So, and they usually initiate it at the planning commission, and it ends up at the board next month.
I remember we used to meet on Monday, first Monday of the month, and then you were involved up there.
Still
At
is.
schools, yeah, couldn't do that.
No, we
I
couldn't do
remember
it.
when we used to meet twice a month.
Really?
No,
You got the board
heaven.
yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
But you, were you on the board when?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you meet, was it the first and third Mondays?
First and third, I think, yeah, something like that.
How long were the meetings? Are they pretty short?
That
Second
depended on
one
who
was-
was in attendance.
Yes. Well,
And
there you
whether they
go.
had a 3-minute limit or not. And whether it was attended by the state police or not. Those were the days.
Colorful day.
Colorful.
Yeah.
Want to get into a fight with your mother?
Yeah. Or yes, whether
The
Mrs.
good old
Davis brought her
days,
purse.
Oh, this must be boring now.
Yeah, they are. Just-
Well, even
Yes.
though our attendance hasn't been robust lately,
I think that's a good thing.
Everybody's
That
happy.
means that everybody in Casco is content, which is
Well-
what I tell the other townships when I go there.
since they got their tax bills last week, I don't know about that.
Well, they.
We'll see.
Yes, well.
But anyway, I think to try it anyway,
Aye.
do a
Sure.
second Tuesday.
I'll make a motion, we, put the Casco Township Board of Trustees meeting on the second Tuesday of each month in 2014. Do I need to spell out each day?
No.
No, but what you need to spell out is the address of the hall and the time of the day,
Okay.
and even the phone number is supposed to be in the motion when you set the
Okay.
meeting dates.
All right.
Yep, look at the
So-
old meetings act.
Whatever.
Uh,
4512 Milton
Milton.
Road, Casco, Michigan,
727-7524?
There we
All
go.
right.
At 7 p.m.
at 7 p.m.
Okay,
Support.
okay, moved and supported.
Yes.
Anita's happy because now she can go to Memphis on the first and third Tuesday and come here on the second
Well, you
Tuesday.
said you had a lump
Life
two
just gets better
cameras
and better.
on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Memphis and Casco is always on the same night, so
How
now.
come two cameras?
Hmm?
How come two cameras versus one?
They're at the same time too. My son usually takes Memphis.
Oh, I see, I understand.
Yeah, my son takes Memphis while I'm here, so.
Well, I called Anita ahead of time just to see if there was gonna be a problem with
And she went,
Comcast. You
Exactly.
know, that would take that into consideration, and she said, no, it was a good thing, and I said, well, better yet.
You know, one comment, people, they'll say they'll see me talk, and it's usually, they'll be watching our meetings like at night, they couldn't sleep, and it's like.
Yeah, really.
Turn it on and done.
That'll take care of the insomnia.
Yeah, I know, because we're not excited.
Channel 6 background noise.
Yeah,
yeah, cool stick.
Okay, moved and supported to set the meeting dates for the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. at 4512 Meldon Road, phone number 727-7524. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. The next item is item B, the treasurer's summer tax collection of school taxes. Every December, we put this on the agenda so the treasurer can fill us in.
Well, we have been contacted by most of the school districts, I'm still waiting for East China. But Anchor Bay, East China, Richmond, the MISD, and RISA have all submitted their letters to us for the collection of summer taxes next year. All of whom we collected 100% of their debt and recreation rates, except for Anchor Bay, who is at 50%. And so we have agreed to do that. We carried forth our regular agreement at $1 a parcel to each of these units, and they will get with me on that price, but we have not had any problems with that in the past. I want people to know that this year's winter bill, there are drains. The drains are collected in the winter. If you see those drains on your bill and the price next to it and you're not happy about it, call the Drain Commission. Next summer, the summer bill will reflect in Richmond the millage rate increase, which was 2 mills, so that will bring the Richmond School District to a total of 6 mills for debt retirement. And again, that will not be until next summer's bills in July. So the bills for this winter were sent out on the 1st of December. If you have a mortgage company, your mortgage company got the bill. If not, then they should have arrived in your post box. We have a date of February 16th for collection on those bills, and you may pay at the township office during regular hours, at First State Bank and Bell River Community Credit Union on their hours, which include Saturday hours. So I hope that is helpful to everyone in the township. The township was kind enough to purchase the tax department a drop box, very secure, on our front stoop out there by the glassed-in partition, and you may feel confident in putting your taxes in there. I would not put cash, but they should be safe. And that's all I have from the tax department.
Any questions from anyone on that? Okay, thank you for coming. Moving on, item E, we have some reappointments to the commissions. In the past, looking up the minutes, we used to do them one at a time in case someone would have a conflict of interest or whatever. So on the planning commission, we have 3 individuals whose terms are up. They've all agreed to serve another 3-year term, and the first one is Mr. Eric Reed.
I make a motion to reappoint Eric Reef for a 3-year term on the Casco Township Planning Commission.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to think Eric has done a very good job taking over the reign, filling some big shoes left by you, Bill, and being the chairman. He's come a long way, and he's doing a very good job as chairman of the Planning Commission.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. The next person on the list is Mr. Stanley Pankowitz.
I'll move that we reappoint Stanley Pankowitz for a 3-year term on the planning commission.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported to reappoint Stanley Pankowitz to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term. Any discussion?
Yeah, Stan's also doing a very good job on the Planning Commission.
Okay,
Yeah.
no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. The third one on the list for the Planning Commission is Susan Macker.
I make a motion to appoint Susan Macker to a 3-year term on the Casco Township Planning.
Support.
Reappoint, excuse me.
That's okay.
Okay, moved and supported to reappoint Susan Macker to a 3-year term on the Planning Commission. Any discussion?
And another, she's developing into a very good planning commissioner herself too, so Susan's also, I like serving with.
Good.
Okay, no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Item F, ZBA reappointment of Sandy Bishop to a 3-year term.
I'll move that we reappoint Sandy. She does a
Okay.
great job.
I'll support that.
No, the one's staggered, it's a 3-year.
Who moved?
I did.
I support it.
Okay, and Brenda brought a point up that last year Sandy was appointed to a 1-year because all the members were due at the same time, so we gave one 1 year, one
Right.
2 years, one 3 years. Well, she was the 1 year, and she said, yeah, you can reappoint. So it's moved and supported to reappoint Sandy Bishop to a 3-year term on the ZBA. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Moving on, item G, we have a couple budget adjustments. Okay, in the update I gave you, I kind of outlined the 2 adjustments we need. One is for the drains. We have our drain assessments that were submitted to us a couple weeks ago. And we were fully paid up, now we owe them, the entire amount is like $4,900. So if we don't want to pay interest, we need to get it paid off. So we're transferring money, $5,000 from the road commission fund to the drain commission fund. The other one is from the tax roll, and that was primarily, the biggest part is because the tax tribunals, and especially in the commercial, where the SCD went down due to the economic conditions, and people that appealed it, we had to give them money back. And so it's proposed to transfer $2,000 from the road commission to the tax roll line item.
I make a motion to approve the amendments.
Support.
Moved and supported to move to approve the amendments to the budget. Is there any discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Okay, how did I go last time? Colleen?
Yes.
I did go with Colleen.
It doesn't matter.
All right, Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes, Joe,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Item H, 2014 compensation for the 2, as close as you can call it, full-time employees and hourly employees at the township. Mrs. Loper and Ms. Thiem. We have a graduated pay scale in the policy book as far as and the vacation schedule. Both of them have worked long enough that they've reached the top scale in the wage area, which is $16 an hour. And,
No, but you were very gracious to me some years ago, and I've been at the top of the scale for quite some time.
Okay.
but because she is also the deputy clerk, I think that was the reason that she was given. And the other person is the deputy treasurer
Right.
and the assistant assessor. So, seeing that there's no movement to be had there, unless you want to change the scale, I put in the update that I talked to 2 individuals. They said they would be satisfied if their vacation time was increased. Okay. When I talked to them, I said 1 day, then I thought about it more. If we're all around long enough, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
Finish what you, and then I'll
Well,
say what I have to say.
and I don't know what you're gonna do year in and year out, but by the time they hit the 15th year, 3 weeks is not unreasonable vacation for a 15-year employee. That doesn't mean you're gonna get vacation days every year, but for this year, I guess if I had to make a recommendation, I would say probably 2 days. Now, the cost is minimal, if any,
Yeah.
because if we don't call somebody in to do their job when they're gone, there's no cost. Okay. The other thing for you to consider is, if you figure a 200-day year, because they work 4 days a week, 50 weeks a year, they're getting a 1%, okay, which is pretty minimal increase, because the 2 days out of 200 is 1%. So I think it's reasonable. It's open for discussion or motion, whatever you want to do.
It's reasonable.
I would like to see him get 4. We can do it over years. You know, if you
Well-
wanna do 2 this year and 1 next year and 1 the next year,
Well, what I was hoping for.
but hang on. That'd be
Okay.
talking about big one. So what is your idea?
I was hoping, give the 2 for 2014. Next year, give them a monetary raise. And then the year after that, depending on everything, maybe go back, kind of stagger, so at the 15th year, I'm putting them at the 10th year now, even though she has 8 and whatever. In the next 5 years, they would go from 10 to 15 days, plus probably 2 of those years, they would get a raise instead of more days. But for the first year, I would just like to get the 2 days.
Okay.
And then next December, we can look at it again.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yep, see how it works out. They may not be happy with it, they may say, I don't want any more days, I want money instead. We'll see.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
When that time came, would we have the option to say, I don't want more money, I'd like another day?
You can say anything you want as long as it's not
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
But whether we
Yeah.
listen to you or not is.
Well, right,
Well-
but I
Is the
can
real
ask
question.
you.
And that's why I don't wanna do the
Yes.
3-year thing, I'd rather do it year to year.
Okay.
Because you can see how it works out, what's best for you, and can ask Linda what's best for her,
Okay, sure.
you know? And, but that, I would say that would be the goal, that 2 of the 5 years, I would look at a monetary amount, and the other 3 a vacation amount, so that the 5 years from now, you would have 15 days vacation and
Some more money.
some more money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do this motion on a separate sheet.
Yes.
Just move that we add 2 days vacation to the 2 employees.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh, we're not addressing the other
No,
issues?
no,
it's just
no,
one?
no,
No,
Oh,
we're
just
just
okay.
doing it for
Okay.
2000, well, you'll get them every year after that.
But we're gonna deal with it at that time, not now.
Yeah, next December, we'll look at it,
Right, right.
see how this works
Just
out.
doing 2 days.
Right now, that's the
Right.
motion's gonna be 2 days for
For the
the
future.
year 2014.
Right.
And beyond.
And beyond,
And beyond.
it's gonna continue.
Okay.
And we're not gonna take it away.
No,
Right.
Oh,
We're
okay.
not gonna trade them in for money, we're gonna add something.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully,
So no matter what happens next year, in 2015, you still get the 12 days.
I'll support.
unless we change
And
it.
Bill made the motion?
Well, I didn't, but I can.
No,
I did.
Oh.
Dan made it.
Dan.
Not elegant. but it-
Well, and they always schedule their vacation in a timely manner that doesn't inconvenience the township. You know, there's certain times of the year, especially
We're
with,
lucky.
especially with the treasurer's office, with the tax collection and stuff. So I'm not worried about that. I think it's reasonable. Okay. Moved and supported to increase the vacation for the two persons named by 2 days, increasing it to 12 days from 10 days. Any discussion? Do we need a roll call for this?
Well, it's not 12, it's 8.
It was, wait a minute, it was 8,
Eight.
sorry.
It'll be
It was 8, it'll be 10,
10,
because they only work
12.
4 days a week.
Right, from
Sorry, good call.
from 8
to 10.
Yeah, from 8.
Yeah, I don't wanna give you a phone more.
Hell,
Spoiled.
should've kept your mouth shut.
Spoil you.
Been right on there.
Yeah, I know.
That's
That's
all right,
all
we
right.
would call. You
I-
want a roll call?
Might as well.
Roll call. All right, that will be Dan,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
me, yes, Bill,
Aye.
Colleen.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Payment of the bills.
Any questions? Anybody?
There's no question on the bills, I'll make a motion they be paid.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported to pay the bills. Is there any discussion? Now, this does require a roll call.
Okay, then. Yes, it does.
You can do a roll call vote for everyone.
We haven't actually put Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes, Joe,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Citizens' comments. Well, first I'm gonna start out that we got a communication today that on January 7th, the American Red Cross and the Richmond Lennox EMS is gonna be having a blood drive at the Lennox Township offices from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that's January 7th. So it's posted in the door outside, and I just wanted to bring it up. So all those folks that are falling asleep watching us on TV might wanna go get some blood.
Yeah, I ran into Jeff White on Friday night, and he was saying runs are up, not necessarily more accidents, but he says this time of year, people who don't normally, aren't as active, get very active, and they overdo it, so I
Yeah.
guess that's a thing, you know, pace yourself on some of the, you know, you may not be used to going over a little bit more than you're used to, so.
Any activity from our audience here, our NEMC representative?
No, it's tomorrow.
He's now the secretary of the
Meeting's
NEMC.
tomorrow night.
What a wealth of information.
Yeah, boy.
Anyone else have anything?
I do.
Okay.
I would like to congratulate the East China School District, one of the
Yes.
school districts that we represent, and the Marine City High School in their state championship, Division IV football title.
Right.
Go Mariners.
In the very, right.
And don't forget our Olivia, who did
Yeah.
all the kicking.
Olivia Viney,
Yeah,
the
she
first
was-
woman in the state championship final. And not only was she the first woman kicker, but I think she tied the record for point after touchdown at Ford Field. So, go Olivia.
Okay, anything else? We are up to adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, they both.
All right, put me at support.
Okay, moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Stand adjourned.
Boy, that little
Merry
girl that,
7.
Kelly had, boy, she was